Random battles. Everyone knows random battles in RPGs. Some love them, majority hate them. But why are these battles even in these games if so many people detest these random battles? In this episode we're going to cover the different system of random battles and how some games try to get around the random battle idea. First, we are going to cover the why random battles were used in the beginning of this gaming genre anyway. The first game we're going to cover is Final Fantasy I. If you go back and play the original Final Fantasy I, not the remakes, you'll notice that the random encounter rates are over the top. Going back to this title makes clear why random battles were used in the first place. In Final Fantasy, random encounters weren't meant to be pushover battles. The goal of these battles were to wear you down over time. You weren't supposed to be able to clear a dungeon in one go. You had to go in, scout it out a bit, and return to fill your supplies and to make then the final push, clear the dungeon. Games that still successfully use this type of gameplay is E3 and Odyssey series. In this game you'll go in to scout the labyrinth, head back, restock on items, HP and mana, so you can then make the final push to reach the next level of the labyrinth. These type of games are generally called dungeon crawlers. This is the genre that introduced the random encounters and thrives on them. Now that we know what the goal of classic random battles is, we are going to make a quick overview of a couple types of random encounter systems ever used in RPG history. First we will talk about the misuse of the classic random encounter system. The three banes that often occur with this type of random encounters are encounter rate being too high, animations being too long, and loading screen being too long. First we'll check on a game called Lufia 1. This game is a prime example of the bane of too many encounters. After a few steps you will encounter a battle, and accompanying this problem is the slow movement speed in this game. This makes traversing through dungeons and the world map a pain in the butt. It totally removes the sense of progress in dungeons and world map alike. Next we'll talk about Dragon Quest VIII. There is no difference in the system, but it's a great example of a game that makes random encounters unbearable. In this game, the loading times of the random encounters are way too long. Accompanying this issue is the fact that battle animations aren't the shortest either. Because of these issues, a lot of people get annoyed by the random encounters really fast. We will take a look at the slightly different system now. Instead of monsters spawning everywhere, in this system only monsters appear on specific points of the map. A popular game that uses this system is Pokemon. Pokemon has a different goal with random encounters, since the goal of the game is to catch Pokemon while leveling them up. A random encounters offer the player ability to find new Pokemon. It's important that the encounter rate is high enough so you will get forced to see different Pokemon, even if you want to just move through an area. An encounter rate can't be too high because of the annoyingness factor. Random encounters offer a different value to Pokemon than what normal random battles do to other RPGs. After shedding some light on the small tweaks of the classic system, we will now talk about a popular way of changing the classic system: enemies on screen. A lot of RPGs try to stray away from the random encounter system by showing enemies on the screen. You could decide for yourself to fight or not to fight. There are two different types in this system: fixed types of battle or randomly generated types of battle. First we will talk about the fixed system. An example we're going to use is Lufia 2. In this game, while inside a dungeon, you would see the enemies on screen. You could decide to fight or just to sneak past them. The monsters try and force the battle with you, but with a bit of strategy you can skip most of the battles. This is in my opinion a good system of using battles. When you're in a pinch and don't want to fight, you can just run away, and when you want to fight for experience you can do that as well. I want to quickly touch a bit on the Chrono Trigger system, since it's a bit of the same but in my opinion worse. Monsters are shown on the screen, but there's little choice you can make. You can skip some enemies, but most of the time you will end up finding them. The worst part in my opinion about the system is that the battles are always the same. In this game, a dungeon feels more like a sequence of battles you have to go through. This is not a really great game design in my opinion. Another game that has the same feeling is Final Fantasy XIII. Now we will discuss a game with randomly generated monsters, but they are still visible on screen. Dragon Quest IX. In this game, random monsters spawn around you. You can choose which one you want to fight or not to fight altogether. In my opinion, this system is has the best of both worlds. You can skip if you want to, or you can choose which monster you want to fight. Now that we have shed some light on the different systems that are being used in RPGs, we will have a look at some interesting adjustments some games have made to the random encounters to make them more bearable. The first game we will take a look at is the Suikoden series. Suikoden uses the original random encounter gameplay. This game, however, makes the easy battles a pleasure. Unlike many other RPGs, this game allows battle animation to happen at the same time. This makes the battles much more fluent and speeds them up a lot. The free will option is also a great option against weak enemies. This option will make all your characters use basic attacks by the click of only one button. This will usually end the battle pretty fast. Another game I want to quickly touch on is Bravely Default. It uses the original random encounter system, but it has some abilities to tweak the encounter rate and some other easy ways to deal with easier battles. In Bravely Default you can adjust the encounter rate from 0 to 200% of the normal rate. It is a good idea to be able to crank the encounter rate up or down while doing some backtracking or level grinding, since it speeds up the progress. However, the thing that isn't great about this system is that you can totally remove the encounters in newer dungeons. This gives the player too much safety and thus removes the difficulty from the game. Another option this game offers is to speed up animations. If you play the animations in real time, it takes quite a bit of time to actually see all the animations. Speeding them up while grinding makes it much more bearable. Bravely Default also allows you to use auto battle. This can be activated before battle and will use the same moves you used on last turn. This will also work on the next battle. So if you make sure you clear the battle really fast with powerful hits, it will just use them again in the next battle. Okay, now we're down to the conclusion. The types of RPGs have changed over time. Each type of RPG has in the need of a different random encounter system. Dungeon crawlers? These will still use the classic system, since it's the genre that benefits from high encounter rates and enforced battles. Story-driven RPGs? These games are carried by the story and the difficulty is usually not the highest priority. These games usually benefit from a system where skipping random battles is possible. I don't think games using basic system is a bad thing. It's just hard to justify a high encounter rate, slow animation and load times. In my opinion, every game that wants to use random battles as beef to fill some time is better off by using the on-screen encounter system. There's just not much reason to justify the classic random encounter system. As long as the game justifies using the basic system, like for example E3 and Odyssey, it's all fine and dandy. Thanks everyone for listening, and if you liked it, please leave a comment and maybe subscribe if you want to hear more. And I'll see you guys next time with some other theory or other rant I have.